The storm did not arrive quietly. It came screaming across the mountain like it had something to destroy. Snow fell so hard it erased the sky. Wind slammed into rock and metal with brutal force. And in the middle of that white chaos, a helicopter dropped from the clouds like a wounded bird, crashing into the mountainside with a sound that shook the ground. Fire burst from the tail. Inside the wreckage, a young woman lay trapped, blood running down her forehead, her hands shaking as flames crept closer. Smoke filled her lungs. Panic filled her chest. "Run!" she screamed into the storm. "Please, leave me." Outside the wreck stood one man, frozen, exhausted, bleeding, and forced to make a choice that would follow him for the rest of his life. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and brave people doing the right thing, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them. The woman's name was Serafina Vale. She was the daughter of a tech billionaire so powerful that people said he owned half the valley below. Serafina had grown up surrounded by luxury, private planes, guarded homes, perfect clothes. But she had also grown up painfully alone. Her father was always busy. Meetings, deals, travel, apologies sent through assistants, love replaced with money. So Serafina ran. She booked a solo helicopter trip to the mountains, hoping silence would give her something the world never had: peace. She never expected the aircraft to fail. She never expected fire to crawl toward her feet. And she never expected a stranger to step out of a blizzard and risk his life for her. That stranger was Marcus Hale. Marcus was not rich. He wasn't powerful. He wasn't special in the way the world measures success. He was a single father from the nearby town of Briar Ridge. Or at least, he used to be. His daughter, Arya, had died from a sudden illness the year before. One day she was laughing. The next, she was gone. And Marcus was left with a quiet house and a pain that never slept. That morning, Marcus had hiked into the mountains to find a small wooden box Arya had buried years ago during a happy summer trip. Inside were drawings, notes, tiny dreams of a child who trusted the world. As the storm worsened, Marcus had started to regret coming. Then he heard the crash. Metal screamed, fire exploded, and someone screamed for help. Marcus didn't stop to think. He ran. Snow cut into his face. Ice burned his lungs. His boots slipped, his hands froze, but none of that mattered. All he could see was fire and a person trapped inside it. Serafina saw him through the smoke and panic. "Go!" she screamed again. "It's going to explode." She meant it. She truly believed she was about to die. And after a lifetime of feeling unseen, she expected this stranger to choose himself. She was wrong. Marcus reached the helicopter and grabbed the door. The metal was sharp and burning. It tore his hands open, but he pulled anyway. Pain shot through his arms. The flames grew louder. The helicopter creaked like it was breathing its last breath. "Please," Serafina cried, tears mixing with soot. "You don't owe me anything." Marcus barely heard her. In his mind, another voice spoke. Small, soft, clear. "Daddy, promise me you'll help people who are scared." It was the last thing Arya had said to him. He broke the door open. Inside, Serafina was shaking violently. Her red dress was torn, blackened by smoke. She tried to stand but collapsed in pain. Marcus didn't hesitate. He lifted her into his arms. She protested. She cried. She begged him to leave her behind. He didn't. Step by step, Marcus dragged them both through the snow. His vision blurred. His hands went numb. And just as they reached a safe distance, the helicopter exploded. Fire filled the sky. The shockwave threw them to the ground. Snow rained down around them. For a long moment, neither moved. Serafina clung to Marcus, gasping for breath. Her heart hammered against his chest. The storm roared, but they were alive. Alive. They found shelter beneath a group of rocks. Marcus wrapped his coat around her, even though his own body shook from cold. He gathered snow to melt for water. He shared the little food he had. Hours passed. The storm did not stop. In the quiet between winds, Serafina learned who Marcus really was. He worked long shifts at a hardware store. He rented a small room. He had loved his daughter more than life itself. He didn't complain. He didn't brag. He didn't ask for thanks. He simply stayed awake, watching the storm, making sure she kept breathing. For the first time in her life, Serafina felt truly seen. Not as a billionaire's daughter. Not as a name. not as a prize, just as a human being shaking in the cold beside another human being. Guilt settled in her chest. She thought of all the times she had ignored suffering because it wasn't loud enough. All the people she passed without looking. At dawn, rescue helicopters arrived. Serafina refused to leave until Marcus was seated beside her. She held onto his arm like she was afraid he would disappear the moment help arrived. At the hospital, doctors treated her injuries. Then they looked at Marcus. Severe frostbite. Both hands. Serafina cried quietly in the hallway, realizing the price he had paid for her life. In the days that followed, she visited him often. She thanked him. She offered to pay for everything. Medical bills, a house, anything he wanted. Marcus always said no. I already have what I need, he told her. I just want to keep my promise to my daughter. That humility changed her. Serafina began funding mountain rescue teams. She supported single parents in Briar Ridge. She asked Marcus to help guide the work, not as an employee, but as a partner. They didn't save each other. They healed together. And they learned something powerful. That sometimes life breaks you not to destroy you, but to rebuild you into someone kinder, braver, and more alive than before. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us spread hope. Before you go, comment below. What would you have done if you were in Marcus's place? Because sometimes, one brave decision doesn't just save a life. It changes too.